good afternoon to you, East Alabama and West Georgia, or soon to be afternoon in East Alabama. It's already afternoon in West Georgia. Dr. Don with you from the Southern Union State Community College Severe Weather Center on your Saturday. This is October 10, 2020, and we are watching the remnants of Hurricane Delta, one of the feeder bands about to approach East Alabama. And we're keeping a very close watch on things. We've been watching it all morning. And just in the last hour or so, we've really seen things ramp up a good bit. And so we have a new tornado watch that has just been issued, which covers a good chunk of East Alabama and West Georgia. Tornado watch is in effect until 8 p.m. this evening and covers the following counties of East Central Alabama: Cleburne, Clay, Elmore, Tallapoosa, Randolph, Lee, Montgomery, Chambers, and Coosa. That's the East Alabama counties. We also have that watch in effect for all of our West Georgia counties as well. And this is a brand new watch that's just been issued. So the National Weather Service is still in the process of getting the county outlines out there. Just as soon as I get the Georgia counties, we'll pass that along to you as well. But I can tell you it's going to cover Carroll. It's going to cover Hurd, Troup, Coweta, Harris, and I believe it also gets down there into Muskogee. Just stop the loop and you can see those counties that are outlined in pink or purple, whatever you want to call that. Those counties are all under the tornado watch that has just been issued from the Storm Prediction Center. And I can tell you that for the most part, especially right this moment, it's going to be for this line of thunderstorms that's moving through Coosa County up into southern Talladega County, basically from just north of Sylacauga down to just west of Wetumpka to around Rockford, down to around Hopeville, in Elmore County, down there to just north of Wetumpka. And then if you look south of Montgomery, lots of heavy rainfall down there as well. But the part of the line that has been teasing us all morning is this line right here. And so you folks in Goodwater, Alexander City, Equality, Eclectic, then up to the north, you folks in Sylacauga, over into Clay County, Millerville, Chambers Springs. This line is knocking on your door, and it's going to continue moving off to the east this afternoon. Now, right this moment, we do not have any warnings, and portions of this line have been showing signs of rotating all morning. As a matter of fact, portions of this line have been rotating all morning, but it's upper atmosphere type rotation. It's broad rotation. You know, the definition of a thunderstorm, all thunderstorms rotate. So just because it's rotating does not mean it's producing a tornado. But this entire line, there have been segments along this entire line that have been rotating all morning. I think the National Weather Service was really close to pulling the trigger on a tornado warning about an hour ago, just north of Maxwell Air Force Base in Montgomery, between Prattville and Montgomery. But the on-site observers there at the Air Force Base in Montgomery reported that when the cell came over Maxwell Air Force Base, it had no wall cloud and no signs of a funnel cloud. So the National Weather Service kind of pulled back on that idea, but the structure of the storm was pretty respectable. And that's on the southern end of this line down there now, just north of Wetumpka. But we also, you'll see this dark spot right here just to the west of Alexander City. I'll zoom in a little bit more on that. That's going to be to the southeast of Wetumpka and to the northwest of Rockford. This is the heaviest part of the line right this moment. That's going to rotate all the way northeast up here to around Hanover and then eventually probably Goodwater, between Kellyton and Goodwater. So we're watching with great interest right here. This part of the storm could go severe at any moment. So that's the main reason for the tornado watch that's just been issued. Goes out until 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern, for East Alabama and West Georgia. I'll pull all the way back out to show you what a mess we have on this Saturday afternoon from what's left of Hurricane Delta. Center of circulation's back over here, right along the Arkansas-Mississippi state line, maybe just north of where Arkansas, Louisiana, and Mississippi all come together, right in this general area. And it's continuing to move on off to the northeast. We'll rotate very close to Memphis and then continue on up into west central or central Tennessee before moving on up into Kentucky on Sunday. And so it's dragging this feeder band along with it. For those of you that have followed our tropical coverage so far this year, I've explained this before, but for the benefit of those of you who haven't, what's happening is what's left of Delta is starving to death because hurricanes have to have warm moisture off the Gulf of Mexico to survive. That's what a hurricane is. It's a release of energy or heat from the warm waters in the Atlantic, Caribbean, and the Gulf of Mexico. So it has to have that moisture from the huge body of water to be able to live. Well, now it's made landfall, so its food source has been cut off. So it's desperately trying to survive by pulling moisture up off the Gulf of Mexico. And that's what this is called. This is a feeder band that's pulling moisture off the Gulf of Mexico. And it's sitting right over East Alabama right now. And what happens is this convection races to the north, and then at some point it starts turning back to the left or back to the northwest to go back to the center of circulation to feed the storm. And so when these storms start to turn, that's when they begin to encounter shear or rotation, because you have the storm turning, and that's what makes these storms go into rotation. And anywhere along this line we could see spin up tornadoes. Now these are typically not large tornadoes. They're typically don't last very long. They're called small spin up tornadoes, which sounds rather insignificant, but if it happens right over your house, then all of a sudden it's very significant. So these things can cause damage. Again, they typically don't last very long, but where they do touch down, they can cause a lot of damage. So that's why we're here today, watching this to give you the information as soon as possible. A lot of times these storms have very short-fused warnings on them, and they can form and dissipate really before the warnings can even get out there. So it's important to bring you this information very quickly. But again, if you're just joining us, we have no warnings in effect right now. We are watching this line of storms moving through Coosa County and southern Talladega County. This will rotate into southern Clay. Eventually it'll move into Tallapoosa, move across the rest of Elmore County, and across southern Tallapoosa as well. So you folks down there from Tallahassee north need to pay attention to what's going on. And then if it holds together, there's all indications that it will, because we're just now really getting the heating of the day going. This thing may make it over into Randolph, Chambers, maybe even the Auburn-Opelika area. Got a ball game down there this afternoon. So we're going to be watching a lot of things as we go throughout the remainder of the afternoon. All right, so if you're new to this, here's how we do it. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, we ask you to put it in the chat section. And I'm about to go take a look at the chat section and see who's in there. And if you are watching us, please tell us where you're watching from so we know which particular areas to pay attention to as we go throughout the day. And we probably will hang in here with you for a little while this afternoon, and then we're going to take a break. And then if we go under any kind of warning, we'll be right back with information. So let's go ahead and take a look. We got Opelika in here. There's Miss Linda Pike Oates. Thank you for joining us. Christy Burks is watching us from Roanoke. Wadley's got us going on. That's Mr. Bruce Davidson. Also, hello to Michelle Long watching us in Wedowee. Peggy McKenzie's watching us from Wedowee. There's Amanda Nash in Roanoke. Hello to Joan Bishop from Frog Eye, Alabama. That's down in, it's right on the Chambers-Tallapoosa County line. That's down there where Miss Mary's frogs live. Teresa Yates is watching us in Dadeville. So you folks over in Tallapoosa County, pay attention to what's going on now. Let's see. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm multitasking, folks, so bear with me. Linda's asking the question, what can we expect in Opelika? You're good right now, Miss Linda. You got probably at least a couple of hours, maybe a little longer than that. What's happening? And let me put the radar in motion. You get a better idea. These storms are moving off to the northeast and then rebuilding down south and moving northeast. The entire line as a whole is moving east-northeast, but it's a very slow progression with individual storms racing to the northeast. So it may take another couple of hours for the core of this line to make it over into Lee County. Of course, there's some concern. We got a ball game coming up a little later on this afternoon over there at Jordan-Hare Stadium. So we're going to be watching this real close. But I think you're good unless something develops that's not there right now. I think Lee County, for the most part, is good for another couple of hours or so. All right, Kathy Smith's watching us in Wadley over there on the West Bank. Sharon's watching us in Alexander City. Sharon, pay attention to what's going on now because we've got a pretty intense line of storms just to your west approaching Kellyton. And, of course, that is lined up perfectly to come right through Alexander City. For the moment, it is not severe, but this segment of the line does have the potential of going severe at any moment. Deborah's talking about they just got issued a tornado watch. That's correct. All of East Alabama and West Georgia is under tornado watch now until 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern. That includes all of our coverage counties of East Alabama and West Georgia. Let me pause and back out, and you can see the counties that are outlined in the pink. Those are the counties that are under the tornado watch, and I'll take the radar off, makes it a little easier to see. And it basically stretches from Alpharetta or North Atlanta Metro back over to around Leeds or to a point between Anniston and Birmingham, and then south to Montgomery, and then all the way down to the Alabama-Florida state line, including a couple of counties down here in Florida, from Destin back up to Crestview, and then over to Dothan, and then right up the Alabama-Georgia state line to a point just south of Columbus, and then it comes over into Georgia and picks up Muskogee County, Harris County, Troup, Coweta, Heard, Carroll of our coverage area. Then also get South Metro, most of Atlanta Metro, and then to the north of I-20 up there to just south of Rome, back over to just south of Gadsden. So a pretty good chunk of Alabama, southeast and southeast Alabama, and west central Georgia now under this tornado watch that again goes out until 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern this evening. Another thing we're going to have to watch for, you see all these individual cells down here in southeast Alabama? We're going to have to watch for some of those things to grow pretty nasty. I think the biggest threat from some of these singular storms would be south of Eufaula and down there around Dothan, and then maybe over here in southwest Georgia. Even though you're not under the tornado watch just yet, that could change. And as the afternoon wears on, these singular storms are going to race up into the Columbus area. So those will be certainly something we need to pay attention to throughout the rest of the afternoon, too. All right, Miss Felicia Stitt. Thank you, Felicia, for joining us. Miss Myra Armitage is watching us this afternoon. Kay Branch in the mountain community up in Clay County. Kristen Hanner watching from Roanoke. Cheryl Palmer is watching us from the Springfield community in Randolph County. Angela Turner is watching us up in Ranburne. Tanya Doster is watching us in Northeast Georgia. Hey, Tanya, I'm in Northeast Georgia. Go Northeast Georgia. Hanging up here on the side of Waka Mountain in extreme southwest White County. There's Miss Chris Head watching us in the Lime community. Dina Lloyd over on the West Bank. All right, so Caleb is watching us from the foot of Pet Kettle Hill. All right, now, Caleb, be a little more specific on where Pet Kettle Hill is, because that looks like something I need to put on the radar. I've heard of it before, but I just can't remember exactly where it's at. So shoot me some coordinates on Pet Kettle Hill if you can. If you can't, then be a little more descriptive of exactly where that's at. I know that's a place I should know where it's at. Miss Judy Owens is up in the capital city of Randolph County, Wadowee. Sherry Cook is watching us from Roxton. Beverly Pike from Wisconsin. Seriously. Good afternoon, Beverly. Y'all got about 3 foot of snow on the ground up there in Wisconsin? Not quite yet, I'm sure. There's Michelle Bonner. Michelle's got some tears flowing. Thank you, Susan. Greg Keefe is watching us over in Ashland, Alabama. Joanne Kramer is in Bowden. Bria Green's watching from Pizza Hut in Roanoke, Alabama. I like pineapple and Canadian ham on mine. Now that's going to start an argument, I know, but that's my favorite. I prefer deep dish with pineapple, Canadian bacon, a little sausage. I like extra tomato sauce too. Let's see, it is 1:09, so I expect delivery by about 4 p.m. Anisha Foster watching from Roanoke. There's Angie. Thank you, watching us from Malone. Thank you for watching us, Angie. We appreciate you. Pam Fleming, or Flynn, is watching from Graham. Shirley Ward's watching us down in Opelika, Alabama. Pastor Greg P. McClure watching us up in Swag in Randolph County. Yeah, that's correct, Daryl. You are under a tornado watch. That is in effect until 8 o'clock tonight. I really don't expect it to go that long. But, you know, we're watching a few storms develop back over in West Alabama, so it could. But I got to tell you, the main reason they've issued this tornado watch is going to be, and y'all forgive my arts and craft skills, they're not the best, but the main reason the National Weather Service has issued the tornado watch is going to be for these storms inside this area I've just drawn there on the map. And all of this is moving off to the northeast. Now, the progression north, the individual storms that are moving north, is happening pretty fast. They are zipping to the north at 35, 40 miles per hour. The progression of the line to the east is happening rather slow. So what we've got somewhat of a training effect going on here, where these storms are going to run over the same area as the entire line slowly moves off to the east-northeast as we go throughout the afternoon. Miss Gloria Pearl's got us going on in Roanoke. Miss Faye Burnett's watching us in Roanoke. Oxford, Alabama. Morgan Brown is in Wedowee. Melinda McCormick's watching us in Woodland. How about them Cats? Huh? Another impressive win last night up there on the hill. Heather Jordan in Ashland. Brittany's watching us in the Valley Beulah area. Shannon Duffy watching us in Valley. Go Rams. Rosetta Walton watching us down in 5 Points, Alabama. There is my Rock Mills connection. Tammy Bennett Farr watching us from Wedowee. All right, Richard Pike II's watching us from Mad Indian Creek. There's another one. Richard, throw me some coordinates so I can put Mad Indian Creek on the radar. Or if you don't have the coordinates, then at least give me a little better description on where that's at. I like putting little bitty places on the radar. So you guys, if you live somewhere off grid, don't hesitate to give me the information. I'll put you on the radar. We got Frog Eye on the radar. So Leslie Arrington's watching us in Dadeville. There's Ohatchee. Angela Shepard watching from Roanoke. Sean Mitchell. Hey, Sean. Ricky Daughtry. Miss Betty Sue's watching us in Graham. There's Miss Anya Jackson Borden. She's watching today. She's in, I guess she's in Roanoke. Can't never tell about that bunch, though. They travel all, they are renowned world travelers. They may be watching in, well, I was going to say Cancun, but that's probably not a good place to be right now because the storm just went through there. Wedowee. So Sunshine's asking the question, can we expect it in Ohatchee? Yeah, you're going to get weather in Ohatchee. I don't think Ohatchee's in the, let's see. Whoa. Yeah, you're right there on the line. So yes, this stuff, watch the stuff down there around Center Point, or maybe even down there around Talladega, as far as Ohatchee is concerned, because that will rotate up in your general direction. But again, unless we get more development, and we are watching stuff blow up over here along the Alabama-Mississippi state line, though it doesn't look significant right now. We're watching this. This is the main area that we're watching, this line that is now just east of Birmingham, or just west of Gadsden, all the way down to the Gulf Coast. This is the area of concern as it moves through East Alabama and into West Georgia this afternoon. Miss Beverly's telling us it's beautiful in Wisconsin. That's a beautiful state. I lived in Chicago for 2 years and traveled up into Oshkosh, went up to, oh man, I'm trying to remember. What's the name of the town up there where Six Flags is located? We went up there. Land of the Lakes, Wisconsin is. Beautiful place. Enjoy your stay up there, Miss Beverly. Regina says that she is trying to see if her Halloween party is going to blow away this evening on Lake Wedowee. 6-ish. Well, let's just go look. I think the main line's through Wedowee by 6 p.m. This is the main stuff over here. Well, actually, this stuff over here in Talladega is going to go north of Wedowee. This stuff down here in Coosa County is what we'll watch primarily for Lake Wedowee. Yeah, it's going to be raining. Next couple, 2-3 hours, rain. Occasionally heavy. And then we'll watch for something severe to go severe along this line. Along this line. I can't tell you if it's going to be clear at 6 p.m., but I can tell you that there's an opportunity that this line will be done by that time. Yeah, I was kidding with Adam Slay. I do the weather for the iSchool Sports Network, and 2 weeks in advance of a ball game, Adam starts asking me what I think the weather's going to do for a particular Friday night. And if you guys have followed me at all, and some of you have been with me for years, even going back to the radio days, and I appreciate that, you know what I say. Anything past 3 days is nonsense. I mean, that is what it is. Anything past 3 days will give you a general concept of what the weather may be, but specifics are voodoo. And that's a James Spann term, and I'll steal it from him because it's correct. Anything past 3 days is voodoo when it comes to specifics on weather forecasting. And so there comes a point when we're dealing with certain weather setups, and this being one of them, where you just have to forget what all the computers are telling you and open the curtains and look out the weather. Look out the window at the weather, because that's what you're going to get. And we kind of got that going on this afternoon. What you see right now is what you got for the next 2 or 3 hours at least. And then there's a chance that certain segments along this line coming through central Alabama could go severe and produce a small spin-up tornado or damaging straight line winds of 60 miles per hour or better. This is not a red letter day in Alabama or Georgia, by no means. We're not going to be dealing with multiple long-lived damaging tornadoes. Could we see a tornado pop up here and there briefly that does cause damage? Certainly. But this is not going to be a red letter day. So I kind of went around the world on that question there, Regina, but yeah, I think there's a chance you may be able to get all them ghosting goblins in there around 6 p.m. this afternoon. But I have a plan B. Camelia McCain watching us from Lineville. Thank you, Deborah. There's Charity Gosden watching us from Wadley. Dana Brooks watching us over in Daviston. Barbara Bowen down in the capital city of Montgomery, Alabama. You down there in my hometown hood, Miss Barbara. Born and raised in Prattville, Alabama. Spent 22 years there. Diane Wade watching from Rowan. Let me tell y'all something about Miss Diane. Now, this lady right here, and this is the truth. Every single thing I post on Facebook, Miss Diane's going to tell me thank you. And I just want to publicly thank you, Diane, because that means more to me than you know. To hear from you guys and know that you're following what we're doing and that I'm making it to you makes it all worthwhile. Modern technology is fantastic, but you know how Facebook works. It's weird. And that's why I constantly preach to go to our YouTube channel and subscribe to our YouTube channel and make sure you click on the little bell for notification. So YouTube does it differently. They send out a push notification. And I won't go into great details of what that is, but it almost guarantees that you're going to get notified we're going live so that you can get the severe weather information. Facebook, a fantastic platform, but it doesn't use push notification. It uses this weird algorithm that nobody has really been able to figure out who, what, where, when, or how to notify you. And some folks get our notifications immediately, and some folks don't get them till the next day. It all has to do with what you watch the most on your news feed. So the Facebook algorithm pushes those feeds to the top of your notification list. So unfortunately, for timely information, and I'm still hopeful that Facebook is going to change that at some point, for timely information such as weather, Facebook just doesn't notify you as quickly as it should. So it's extremely important that you take just a moment and go over to our YouTube channel and subscribe to Dr. Don's weather page on YouTube, and make sure you click on that little bell so you get notified when we go live for severe weather. And thank you, Diane, for being so attentive and thanking me every single time I put a post out there. I appreciate that. A lot of you do that, and I appreciate every one of you. We got Lafayette in the house. There's some more folks down in Opelika. There's Tammy Spratland. Hello. Nice to have you with us. Let's see here. There's the Idaho Road community from Ashland, Alabama. Tommy Sprayberry's in Draketown. Pineapple, it does belong on pizza. I agree with you. David Huddleston's watching us up in Roopville. Cheehaw Mountain. Cool place. Might get a little windy up on the mountain today. Thank you, James Shepard. Casita, Alabama. Wadley, Alabama. Comets Valley. There's another one. All right, Rick, give me some information on where that's at. Noonan, Georgia. Thank you, Rachel. And Rachel, understand that Coweta County is not one of our primary counties because Atlanta picks you up. But if ever we get a life-threatening situation coming out of, let's say, Heard County or Troup County coming up into Coweta, we certainly would stay with it. So if it's something that's very serious, we got you covered. There's Christy throwing out a good War Eagle. Man, I need that after last week. Y'all, that was bad. And I have to live with these Georgia folks. I have to work. You know, there's one positive COVID tidbit of information. At least I've not had to be face-to-face with a lot of them this week. Wow. That was a woodshed event right there. There's Scott watching us in Roanoke. If you're just joining us, I'm going to go back and recap everything in just a few moments, so hang in there with us. I just want to check all my messages right quick. Tallapoosa County. Yeah, I got Cragford on there. Let me go down here to Cragford. All right, Cragford, where you hiding? There you are. See? There's Cragford right there. Calvin is watching us from Everglade, just south of Daviston. Thank you, Richard. I will put Mad Indian Creek on the map. You guys just didn't know that Dr. Don's weather page would put you on the map, did you? I got you covered. You are going on as soon as I take a break, which will be here in just a few minutes. Well, Becky, actually, that's not a good thing. Becky Baldwin's telling us that she's got sunshine in Casita down there in the Beulah community, which is down there in Chambers County. And I'm gonna be honest with you, Becky, that's not a good thing. We want to be cloudy and rainy before this line comes through, because if you have sunshine down there in southeast Chambers County. And my radar's showing a little rain down there, but if you got breaks of sun, that's allowing the atmosphere to heat up. And that's what you don't want. So if there are any areas down there in Chambers or points south that's picking up sunshine this afternoon, just that should heighten your level of awareness even a little bit more, because that's not going to help. That's actually going to kind of pour fuel on the situation. And my concern, I got to be honest with you, I am concerned for the ball game this afternoon down there in Auburn, because look at all this mess down here around Montgomery that's kind of coming in that general direction. So it's definitely going to be wet. I know that they're not allowing tailgating, so that's one positive, I guess, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say that we probably have a better chance for severe the further south you go, and along and south of I-85 is probably a little better opportunity there for severe weather than there is between 85 and I-20. Napoleon, Wadley, thank you, Barbara. Look at here. Here's Sandra Allen. I think I know who that is. Watching from Woodstock, Ontario, Canada. Cloudy with a chance of rain, 72 degrees currently. Wow. Thank you, Sandra, for watching us from Ontario, Canada. I tell you, we get out there, our signal is something else. Duluth, Georgia, there's Ron. Thank you, Ron. Carrollton, Georgia, hey, Miss Mary. Hackneyville, Alabama, Jamie Enos. Rosemary McDaniel watching us over in Noonan. Thank you, Sharon. I appreciate the kind words. Jacksonville, there's Mary Turner. Pulaski, Tennessee. Hey, Gina, thank you for joining us. You guys have had your fair share of this rain up there for sure. Yes, Christy, it was brutal. Beyond brutal. It was just nasty. Well, Miss Linda, I appreciate your kind words. And she says that I'm the only one that she trusts because you're always 100%. Well, you know, there are times that I'm not. Trust me, I beat myself up more than anything else. I do want to be correct, and that's why I don't throw a lot of junk out there at you guys to try to get clicks or people to come watch us or to try to scare you half to death. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm going to be straightforward. I'm going to be honest with you. And I'm not the one with the brains. The meteorologists that spend, 4 to 7 years in college over at Oxford, Mississippi, those are the ones who really know what they're talking about. And we're talking about the meteorologists at the National Weather Service offices in Birmingham and Peachtree City and the guys and gals out at the Storm Prediction Center out in Norman, Oklahoma, these folks, they are the smart ones. They really are. They are good at what they do, and they can predict what Mother Nature is going to throw at us as best as anybody can. Now, you have tons and tons and tons of wannabe meteorologists out there across the United States, across the world for that matter. A lot of them now, because of modern technology, think it's cool and neat to go on Facebook, YouTube, and act like they're a weather person and provide you with information that they haven't been trained to understand. So they don't know what they're looking at, and they misinterpret. While their intentions may be well, they misinterpret what they're looking at. And so the caveat to modern technology is that you end up with a lot of misinformation out there. So my niche and what I try to provide to you guys is true factual information that comes from the smart people who are educated to do what they do. Now, where my niche comes in, I can take that information and fine-tune it to a much smaller location than our meteorologist over in Birmingham or in Atlanta. James Spann, friend of mine, fantastic dude. Taught him everything he knows. And then Glenn Burns over in Atlanta, same thing. You know, these people are good. They know what they're doing. But, you know, understand, and I get it, even though it's frustrating, Birmingham cannot stay with Randolph County or any of the East Alabama counties for that matter. And the same holds true for Atlanta. Because folks understand, television is a business, whether you agree with it or not. And I can guarantee you if James Spann had his way, he would stay with it until it got completely out of Alabama and probably stay with it as long as there's a threat to anybody's life. He personally doesn't see it that way. But his producers and his station managers see it a different way because they're there to run a business. Same theory applies to Atlanta. So I can fill in that gap, and that's what we're doing. And thanks to your support, we've been able to continue this now for almost a year and a half. And as long as you continue to support us, we will continue to do this. As long as the support's there, the need is there, and the good Lord is willing and the creek don't rise. Now, how about them apples? And if you would like to support what we do, you can go right there to paypal.me/Dr. Don WX. If you don't have time to jot that down, you can go to any of our videos on Facebook or YouTube, and at the top of every single primetime weather forecast, this link is there. All you gotta do is click on it. It is quick, fast, secure. If you have a PayPal account, it's real fast. But even if you don't have a PayPal account, you can still do it, and it is secure. And I appreciate anything you can do to help us out. We need everything we can get. There is a tremendous amount of cost. I'm not even concerned about the time that it takes, but there is a tremendous amount of cost involved in it. So please help us out if you possibly can. Munford, Alabama's in the house. Dadeville. Foster's Crossroads up in Randolph County. There's Wedowee, Gadsden, Alabama. Jack-o'-lantern Lane in Lafayette, Alabama. There you go, Glenn Morgan. This is your time of year. There's Big Springs up on the eastern side of Randolph. Lisa Walls is in Lynette. Becky Baldwin is in Lee County. There's Weguffka. Drew Murr. I got you, brother. He says, we are watching from the poor end of Country Club Road in Roanoke. That's funny. Miss Paulette Hickman's in Alpine. Hey, Robin says, but the creeks rise all the time. I'm glad that you love us. I have trusted you with the weather since you was at Eagle 102.3. Well, thank you, Robin. You know, and that brings up an interesting point. You know, that saying actually came from the day from the cowboy and Indian day. Good Lord willing, and the creeks don't rise. The intent there was the Creek Indians. Well, it's loosely translated, so I have always looked at it, Robin, just as you are. I've always meant that to say, good Lord willing, and the creeks, as in the water creeks, don't rise. That's the way I've always looked at it, but I did a little research on that. That's just kind of a tagline I've used since back in 1970-something when I started radio. And a lot of interesting information out there about that. Thank you, Miss Carolyn. How's my favorite coach doing? Good to hear from you. Miss y'all too, I really do. But it is great that modern technology will allow us to do this. There's Freddie Justice watching us in Carrollton, Georgia. All right, folks, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to kind of run down things again, and then we're probably going to take a break and wait and see if we get anything severe. Right now, we do not. We do have a tornado watch that was issued by the National Weather Service 45 minutes to an hour ago, and the counties that are inside of the pink or fuchsia or hot pink or red, whatever you want to call that color, purple, are those counties that are in the tornado watch. And I will just turn the reflectivity off just for a moment so you can see the counties I'm talking about. And I posted earlier this morning a repost from James Spann where he talks about you should be able to pick out your home county on a map. And in today's world where we have GPS and our phone talks to us and tells us which way to turn when we're going somewhere, especially our younger generation, and apparently this is not taught in school anymore, our younger generation doesn't know where they are on a map. Yet we still use maps with everything. So it's very important that you download a copy, and I've got it. I posted it earlier today on Dr. Don's weather page. Study that map. Understand where on the map Randolph County is. Understand where it is in relation to the counties around you. Understand where it is in relation to large cities such as Birmingham, Montgomery, and Atlanta. Understand where your county is on the map. Understand where it is in relation to I-85, I-20. A lot of times we'll say storms are going to be more severe along and south of I-85 because that is a good landmark to use when referencing where the weather is going to be bad. Wintertime, we'll say there's a chance of snow north of I-85 or north of I-20. Take some time to study that map and learn where those interstates are on a map and where your home county is on a map. And then take it a little bit further and figure out where you are within that county. This can help you tremendously. And folks, I don't mind the questions. I really, really don't. As a matter of fact, it makes me feel good that you ask questions and that I can provide you with information that will keep you safe. But it would blow your mind at the number of questions I get when I put weather information out there from folks who will say, well, what about this location? And the problem is they don't, because I've just described where the weather is going to be bad and where it's going next, they don't understand where they are in relation to the information I've just posted. And I know that's what the problem is. There's no question about it. So, but you can fix that problem yourself. And it makes you much more weather savvy and makes you capable of protecting yourself and your family a lot quicker. And it only takes just a few minutes to study the map, to figure out where you are on the map in relation to large cities and large thoroughfares. And which way's north, south, east, and west? Look, I have a daughter that does not have a clue. Can I get a testimony on that? Yes, see, producer Tracy's throwing the hand up. I have a daughter that if her life depended on it, couldn't tell me which way's north, south, east, and west. I love my baby girl to death. But you know how frustrating that has to be for me, being a weather geek. I'm still working on her. There's still hope. I'm still trying. But, and I know some folks have a great sense of direction and some don't. You could literally blindfold me, roll me up and whatever, and twirl me around 50 times. I'd probably throw up, but you could do it, and then throw me out there and take the blindfold off and say, all right, which way's north, south, east, and west? And I could still show you probably with my eyes closed. I was born with a good sense of direction, and I get it. Some people don't have that. But it doesn't take a whole lot to learn which way is north, south, east, and west, and that'll help you out tremendously as well. I'm just trying to give you some information that could potentially help save your life someday. But anyway, back to what we were talking about. We are primarily watching this line of thunderstorms that's moving through central and about to move into east central Alabama. And the reason we have this tornado watch is because of this line of thunderstorms that is moving through. And this watch is going to continue until 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern this evening for East Alabama and West Georgia. So far, we do not have anything severe. I'm just monitoring the National Weather Service, and they are talking about some circulation. Let's see. This is going to be down in Pike County, crossing 231. Now, that's not a tornado. It's just a rotating thunderstorm. And I'm just looking at some of their comments, and there's really not a whole lot going on in the National Weather Service chat room right this minute. So we're all just kind of sitting around watching all of this unfold together and waiting to see if indeed we're going to have anything this afternoon. I hope that we don't. It is a football Saturday, and we'll be playing football down here in Lee County in just a little while. Alabama, by the way, is playing over in Oxford, Mississippi, over at Vaught-Hemingway Stadium. It's 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central on ESPN. A lot of folks were scratching their head as to why they moved the ball game to later in the evening, with what's left of a hurricane barreling up the western side of the state of Mississippi. I actually think it was a smart move, because even though the center of circulation will still be in Mississippi at kickoff tonight, and it may be a little windy at the stadium, the weather associated is far removed from the center of circulation, and I think will be well north and east of Oxford by the time Alabama kicks off tonight. So I think that was actually a smart move. We may not get that lucky down here in Lee County. We're looking at, what time? 4 o'clock? Hang on a second. Yeah, 4 o'clock Eastern. That would be 3 o'clock Central for the Auburn-Arkansas game. 3 o'clock. Well, and it is coming up on 2 o'clock now. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's going to be a rainy night at Auburn. Quite possibly a lot of rain in Auburn. Here's the good thing, though. We're not seeing a tremendous amount of lightning with these storms. As a matter of fact, in this frame, I don't have the first lightning strike. So that's a good thing. I'll zoom in on Lee County. There's Auburn. We do have some very light rain at Jordan-Hare Stadium right now. but nothing of any great significance. Bear with me here. We're going to go, we are just going to go live to Auburn, Alabama. Let me find, there we go. And let's turn the chat off. There we go. Hey, I didn't realize that was going to happen. That's not what I want. Let's find a different live switch. Let's take that one. Whoosh, that looks a whole lot better. Sorry about that, folks. All right, so there's Toomer's Corner, looking back at Sanford Hall, and you can see a little rain. So that's very light stuff. You see down there in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Let me zoom in because it's hard to see that resolution that far out. And you can see that we have just mostly light rain right there over Auburn University, and you can see it there on the live shot as well. But that's going to increase as we go throughout the afternoon, and we're going to watch this shot. And when we come back live, we'll be sure and watch this together as we go throughout the afternoon. Well, that's great, Sharon. Sharon's talking about she had a friend that made a map, and that she does know how to find us on a map. That's fantastic. Good job, Sharon. Proud of you. Oh, yeah. Happy birthday to Bart, Miss Carolyn. Be sure and tell him I said so. Yeah, Robin's talking about they learned maps in the 4th grade. You know what? My wife gets sick and tired of hearing these stories. But I always try to, and I think it's fascinating to think about things that happened in your life that caused you to go in a certain direction. I think it's cool. And I was thinking about that. In probably the 4th or 5th grade, maybe 6th grade, somewhere right in there. Teacher gave us an outline of the state of Alabama. And we had to do several things. First thing we had to do was locate approximately within the state of Alabama where, at that time, I lived in Autauga County, approximately where Autauga County was. And then she gave us another one that had the county outlines. And we got so many points for every county that we could name on that map. Well, you know who got 100. Yeah, but you know how I knew all that? Because at that age, I had a paper map of the state of Alabama, an Atlas road map. This was even before the books came out. You just go get one of those big, huge fold-out maps that you can't get back together. You know what I'm talking about? I had one of those big, huge maps up on my closet door in my room, and I had push pins. And every time my scanner would go off with a severe weather advisory, I'd stick a push pin on the county within the map of the state of Alabama. Now, this was, we're talking 4th, 5th, or 6th grade. I can't remember exactly. So my teacher forcing me to learn where the counties were in the state of Alabama may have been the beginning of my love for this. That's my earliest recollection. That's as early back as I can remember about doing weather stuff. And it all had to do with that map of the state of Alabama. So, there you go. Learned something new today. All right, so Miss Carolyn says that the best coach in the state of Alabama, Mike Battles, is driving her to Auburn to celebrate Bart's 45th birthday. She says that she hopes I have a wonderful weekend, and she's going to tell Samantha what I said. Oh, I'm quite sure she's going to hear about it. I'm surprised my phone's not already blowing up. Well, happy birthday, Bart. And I hope you and my favorite coach and my favorite coach's wife have a fantastic evening in Auburn. Good people right there. I cherish my time with those folks. Thank you, Betty. Betty is our watch. She is on watch for Roanoke. And Betty is going to keep us updated on what is going on. So I get concerned when I go live and I don't see Betty in my chat room. So, Betty, just like I tell everybody else, if you haven't already done so, please go over to YouTube and make sure that you subscribe to Dr. Don's weather page on YouTube and click on that little bell so that you get a push notification when I go live so that you'll be here. I don't want you to not know when we're live because you keep us updated with good information. We appreciate it. Yeah, I can't remember exactly what grade I was in either, but it was somewhere between 4th and 6th grade. It was right in there. All right, folks, we're going to step aside and take a break and probably maybe watch a little football. Grab a little bite to eat. But, of course, the moment we have any type of warnings issued, I'll be right back with live severe weather coverage. You're looking at a live shot of Toomer's Corner in downtown Auburn, where we have just basically light rain underway right now. Much heavier rain is on the way. For Auburn, we got a ball game that's going to start down there in a little while. Good news is no lightning so far. So I wouldn't expect a lightning delay. Just lots of rain, certainly possible. And, of course, the Lee County area is under that tornado watch until 8 o'clock Central. And primarily for this line of thunderstorms that stretches from Anniston to near Clanton to Montgomery down to Troy and moving east-northeast. Take you back to the Southern Union State Community College live Doppler HD radar, and there it is. And as you can see right now, Randolph, you're okay. Got a little light rain down there in Wadley. Most of Clay County is good, except for the extreme southwest corner of Clay. Heavy rain beginning to move in there. Pretty intense line of storms stretching now from about Pell City down to Sylacauga. Then down into central Coosa County. And then across Elmore County to a point just west of Tallahassee. You folks in Tallahassee, you got some moderate rain. Most of Coosa County is just covered up with heavy rainfall right now. 280, not a good ride from Auburn all the way to Birmingham. It's just a washout. Light to moderate rain in parts of Tallapoosa County. Southwest Chambers County, you got some heavier rain there. There's one little spot there between Lafayette and maybe Dadeville where we got some heavy rain falling. Mostly light rain along and west and southwest of 431 in Randolph. Mostly light with a few occasional heavier showers north of I-20 up there in northern Cleburne, up into Cherokee and Calhoun County. Though some heavier rain showers coming into Anniston and Oxford right now as well. But the red stuff you see on the radar, those are the areas we're watching for the possibility of a spin-up tornado this afternoon. We do have some individual storms blowing up over here across West Alabama from Demopolis, north up there to north of Winfield, back over to around Columbus. But right now, those storms don't look severe. see if I can put... All right, there's the national radar. And that gives you a good general idea of what we look like across the entire southeastern United States. The remnants of Delta is over here just southwest of Memphis, moving off to the northeast, going to come right over Memphis, Tennessee. Then it'll move up to around Nashville and then up into Kentucky. Well, you see this is a feeder band coming off the Gulf of Mexico, and it's spiraling back around to the center of what's left of Delta, north of Greenville over there. And so we have some of this stuff out ahead of the line, and then the main line over here across East Alabama. Then you have more stuff over here in South Carolina, and it's just a big mess. A great day to stay inside and watch football. If you got to go somewhere, be very careful and drive with care. Audrey's asking the question about Wedowee. Same thing. You're under a tornado watch until 8 o'clock tonight. Line of thunderstorms over in Talladega County down through Coosa and Elmore County will slowly move to the east-northeast, and we're watching that line for the formation of any severe weather that may develop this afternoon. If it happens, then we'll be right there with you. Yeah, Miss Betty's pointing out that she is a follower on Facebook, and you do need to be a follower on Facebook, and I hope that every one of you are. If you're not, if you don't follow Dr. Don's weather page on Facebook, please go over there and like it now. If you're there watching us now, like the channel. And then also, if you're in East Alabama, go like East Alabama Weather Group, because a lot of the weather advisories that we put out are over on the group. Dr. Don's weather page is kind of the parent page of all of our groups, and then under Dr. Don's weather page, we have the East Alabama Weather Group, the North Georgia Weather Group, and the Central Alabama Weather Group. Well, so when we get into severe warnings that are being issued, I do that over on the groups. So if you live in East Alabama, go like East Alabama Weather Group. If you're in Central Alabama, like the Central Alabama Weather Group. But most important of all is that you make sure you like Dr. Don's weather page. Because if you don't like Dr. Don's weather page, you will not get notified when we go live for severe weather. That's the only way we know to notify you. But because of the way Facebook works, you don't always get a timely notification when we go live. So that's why it's really important to go to YouTube and like Dr. Don's weather page on YouTube, because they use a different method to send that notification to you. It is almost guaranteed. It's called a push notification. So real important that you do that. If you're having trouble finding us on YouTube, all you have to do is go to any of our videos posted on Dr. Don's weather page. At the top of every one of those videos, there is a link that takes you to Dr. Don's weather page on YouTube. All you got to do is click on it. You're there. Subscribe, and if it asks you whether or not you want to receive notifications, it'll be a little bell. You click on that bell, and then you get notified when we go live for severe weather, and you don't even have to be on Facebook or YouTube to get that notification. That's the beauty part. Doesn't matter what you're doing, you'll get a notification. And folks, I don't go live very often, so it's not a constant nuisance. I'm not going to be constantly sending things out. I'm not going to bother you with junk. If there's something serious going on that you need to know about, then we go live. But I'm not all about ratings or clicks or trying to get all fancy with all that kind of stuff. I'm here to give you life-saving information, and that's what we do. All right, folks, so we're going to bust out of here and take a break, watch a little football. I will be back as soon as conditions warrant. We can see there on our live shot from Toomer's Corner that the rain is, I keep going to that shot. Y'all, see, I need to shave. I'm going to have to take that off my switcher because I don't know how I keep going to that. Now, what I was saying was you can see that the rain is picking up at Toomer's Corner in Auburn. It's going to be a wet afternoon. That's only going to get heavier as we go throughout the afternoon. And I'm afraid by kickoff we're going to have a monsoon going on down there at Jordan-Hare Stadium. But we'll all watch that together. And if we have severe weather that warrants live coverage, I'll be right back here with you on Dr. Don's weather page. Don't forget, please don't forget to go over and support us. And I'll put that up there for you one more quick time so you can see how to do that right there. Go to paypal.me/Dr. Don WX. Again, any of our videos on Facebook or YouTube has that link at the top of every single video. Anything you can do to help us out, we greatly appreciate you. And we'll see you back in here later, if need be, on Dr. Don's weather page.